listening to your nervous system is interesting to me. How do you start to differentiate? Because I know you talked about it before. When you genuinely don't feel safe, or a situation is just making you uncomfortable.
So how do you start listening to it?
Yeah, and how do you differentiate essentially between the two, right? Because I assume both of them come with a certain level of discomfort. I guess what are some ways that you can distinguish between I genuinely don't feel safe, or distinguish between that and feel uncomfortable with this conversation, or I feel
Right.
uncomfortable with where this is going?
That's a great call out, Jay. So I know Matthew and I talked about this a bunch on Friday on the live Twitter space. But I think that a lot of times we misconstrue safety as comfortability, and those aren't the same things. So if somebody challenges you about something and it makes you uncomfortable, it's really up to you to think about, why do I feel this way? So if you give yourself like a second, when you get into that like amygdala hijack, as we call it, it's fight, flight, fawn, which is like just wanting to put a band-aid on something and make it better, but not really fixing the issue. Like, where is it coming from? If you're feeling uncomfortable about something, is there some validity about what this person is sharing? Are you offended because of what they're sharing, or because of a previous experience? Like Josh talked about how we bring all this stuff with us. Like when we bring stuff from our past, we bring a lot of that stuff unknowingly with us. So it really is up to us to think about, if I feel unsafe, why? If somebody is challenging my way of thinking, an example that I like to use is actually having someone in one of our psychological safety classes said something kind of sexist. I don't know how to put it any other way than that, but it was dated, it was sexist. I said something where I was being really gentle and said, didn't even confront this person directly, but said, we all have these old school mindsets because I'm not innocent either, right? This isn't about pointing fingers. It's saying we have to undo those things ourselves so that we can make progress. And this person got very offended and said, I feel uncomfortable. And I thought, good. I want you to feel uncomfortable. And we had to talk through, why are you feeling so defensive? And you have to do it in a way, like, it's kind of one of the things, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, without sounding like super preachy, and saying like, tell me about what's going on. You're taking this class, you wanted to sign up for it, you paid for it. So what's coming up for you? And it ended up being all of this stuff that they started unpacking, and they kind of had a moment of like, whoa, I didn't even know that existed. And I didn't do that work. They did it. They were the ones who kind of stepped up to the plate and said, I'm having a response. And I'm so glad that they told me, because they ended up doing that work themselves. And that's how, none of us are perfect. We all have ways that we can evolve.